Hello, welcome to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry, and on Flirk and Instagram, I am Mel-Tran Designs. Today is Monday, February 23rd, 2015. I didn't record last week, but I figured if I recorded right away this week that I can hopefully get back on track to recording every week. And since it was the end of the week before, it hasn't been too terribly long. So anyways, I'm actually standing up today because I'm in my bedroom again, and the window is kind of right behind the computer, and that's the best light, and there wasn't really a place to sit, so I'm just standing, which is fine. Alrighty, I have stuff to talk about. I have something really super exciting to share with you today. If you've been watching the past few weeks, you know that I'm going to be traveling, and the time is here. I bought my airplane ticket this morning, and so I will be telling you where I am going. But other things before that, we're going to talk about happenings this week and and lead up to that. But first of all, I want to welcome back returning viewers and welcome new viewers. I hope you enjoy our time together. Make yourself comfortable. Grab whatever fibery, goodnessy thing that you're going to be working on, and let's jump right in. Happenings this week. Last Sunday, so not yesterday, but the week before, or the week before, I was able to go up to a little town called Garden Valley, Idaho, and it's so beautiful up there. It's in the mountains, and the air is crisp and clean and amazing, and it smells good. If you've ever been to the mountains, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put some lotion on because my hands are dry. This is my Wolf Farms candy cane lotion. Anyways, I love them. If you haven't checked them out, wolffarms.net, wolf with an E, Wolf Farms. Okay, anyways, so I went up there. It's a spin-in that happens every year, and I've been trying to go. I talked about going last time I recorded, and that I was planning on it, and I've tried the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and it hasn't worked, or it hasn't worked out. So yeah, I was able to go, and it was so much fun. It was a lot smaller this year, I guess, than normal. There were only 15 of us maybe, so not a lot, but it was still a lot of fun. It was in this really cute little community center, and it was, well, and I said before, it's not technically Garden Valley, it's in Crouch, which is about 6 miles from Garden Valley. And anyways, I love it up there. I love it, I love it, I love it. And it takes only maybe about an hour-ish to get there. It's not too bad. And it's a beautiful drive, and I enjoy driving by myself, and so it was a lot of fun. Anyway, so I did that, and oh, shoot. I didn't bring something in. That's right. Anyways, so I'll just run and get it later maybe. Okay, so I did that all last week, Sunday, and then let's see, Thursday was Anansi's final ski race for the season, so that was exciting, and she gets to go on a bonus trip this coming up Saturday, so that'll be fun. And then Friday, I was just like, you know what, I'm done putting it off. We're going to do some work around the house. And one of the kids' room was first. I think I brought this up before, that we were cleaning it out. I was like, that's it. We're doing this. We cleaned it out. Well, Jake finished moving the bigger stuff out of there. I went to Lowe's and bought a whole bunch of stuff. And by the time I got home, he had moved the big stuff out of there, and I bought everything except for the paint because I wanted to be sure that Cayenne got the colors that she wanted. So yeah, like I said, everything else was out of there. And then after they got home from school, she and I went over and finalized the paint color selection and bought the paint, and then came back home, and during the time we were gone, the carpet got ripped out. Joy of joys, there's freaking linoleum underneath it. We're not pulling that out. Not pulling linoleum off. You have to like heat it and steam it and not even going to mess with it. There was carpet on top of it. We're going to put carpet back on top of it. Seriously, who puts linoleum in a bedroom? Like, I don't even care if it's a kid's room. You don't, whatever. Okay. Our house has been owned by a series of idiots. So, the room is completely stripped, empty. Well, we decided that the baseboard that I discovered underneath, which, not underneath, but I didn't realize what the baseboard was. Instead of being nice wooden baseboard, you know the stuff that you use in bathrooms that seals and is waterproof, you know, like the kind of, I know it's not plastic, but it kind of feels like plastic, almost like a splash guard type thing that is like 4 inches tall and it goes along the floor of the bathroom. That's what they put in the bedroom. Like linoleum and like a, whatever. Whatever. So we pulled that off. Well, because it's adhesive, it ripped up the whole bottom of the wall. Not like horrible, but just ripped the top layer off the sheetrock. So instead of painting Saturday, we were gonna paint. We weren't gonna paint Friday night. We were doing some prep work, so I guess it was Saturday. Yeah. Instead of painting Saturday while Cayenne was at my sister's house, Jake had to go get mud and mud the whole bottom. And then I took the lid from the mud thing because it was pre-mixed, you know. And so I took the lid and my finger and went and filled in all the tack, you know, thumbtack holes. And then there were random like dents in the wall. I don't even know what my kids have done in there, for Pete's sake. There were like just dents in the wall, all over the place. Filled those in, and then I was like, this is cool. So I went like in our whole house, except for Anansi's room, because that's where all 3 of them are right now, and it's crazy trying to climb through there. But pretty much all the other rooms in the house, me and my lid and my finger, I was filling in dents and holes and blah, 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 because we're going to work on doing stuff anyways. So I was like, who cares if it looks funny for now? They even look better, even though you can tell that it's much more white than like the walls around it. It doesn't even matter. It looks better because there was one spot where there was a hole from when we tried to hang something and it didn't work and kind of ripped it. Anyway, totally filled that in. Like, it was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. So anyways, we had to let that sit for 24 hours. And so we couldn't paint that night. And then yesterday was Sunday. And so we had church, and then we went over to my dad/sister's house to pick up Cayenne and to hang out with the family. So we didn't do anything yesterday, and we haven't done anything today, and we probably won't. So the plan for me anyway, because I'm going out to breakfast in the morning with my grandma, which means I will be up hours earlier than I normally am, I'm going to paint tomorrow. And the guy at Lowe's was amazing. I lucked into having the paint representative helping me instead of just one of the Lowe's employees, which, I mean, we actually have some really knowledgeable employees there, but it was the Valspar representative guy. And we spent like an hour together, and he was showing me the best stuff to get and teaching me different techniques on, you know, the best way to paint the wall, cutting in and striking and just all this other stuff that I'd never heard of before. And it was cool, like really cool. And it was a lot of fun talking. He's around the same age as Jake and I are, and they're working on, you know, doing debt-free stuff, and so we kind of were talking about that too. And anyway, so yeah, it was a fun hour. So I'm excited to paint tomorrow. So it'll be a lot of fun. Any other updates? We have no idea what's going on with Jake's job, and we have no idea. He's working on a certification right now so he can become more marketable and hopefully stay here a little sooner. Yeah, I think that's about it. No new news on that. I'm still working 4 nights a week. I picked up a couple hours on Saturday just because one of the gals was needing to come in a couple hours late, and I happened to be there when she was in talking with the managers, and I was like, hey, I can come in for a couple hours. We don't have anything going on. Holy cow, though. I've never even been in the restaurant on a Saturday night, let alone work. That place is crazy. Like, full staff. I mean, more people working that night than I work with any night during the week. I mean, obviously Saturday's busier, but it was just, there are so many people working, so many people coming in to buy food. Luckily, I was just on drive-through window, so I'm glad I wasn't on custard, because, man, it's crazy over there, because you're getting orders from drive-through and from the front. I was on window, so I wasn't even taking orders. I was just getting people's drinks and food handed out to them and taking the money and doing that. And it was fun, though. I mean, with so many people, you know, working and the busyness, I'm not gonna lie, I had fun. And if they would have asked me to stay, I would have had a hard time saying no, just because I was having fun. But they didn't ask me to stay, and they gave me a very good discount for covering someone's shift. They usually do. They like to spoil us and say thank you. So anyway, sorry. If you see me moving around a lot, it's not because I'm twitchy. My wrist needs to pop. So, oh, and an update on that. I have not worn either of my braces for almost a week now. Tomorrow will be a week since I had to wear them. My going to the chiropractor every week is working, and my back is feeling better. My neck is a little screwed up, but I can handle that. And I'm going in again this Friday. But yeah, I'm happy that I'm not having to wear that all the time and depend on it. And yeah, it's been nice. I still carry it with me in my purse in case I start to hurt at work or anything, because it could, you know, still slip out. But overall, yay, progress. So anyway, I think that's all I have for happenings this week. 12 minutes in. Yay, now for the part I've been so excited to tell you. Going on / coming up. Going on is a stranded colorwork knit along that I'm co-hosting with Lisa Fiber Nymph from the 90% Knitting Podcast. And that is going through the months of February and March. You still have plenty of time to jump in, especially if you're going to make a small project. I'm still working on my sweater. You'll see the progress on that. You still have time to make a bigger project if you have the time to commit to it. Join in. There's a thread in my group that only has a couple finished objects so far. There's a thread in Lisa's group. There's also another podcast who happened to just coincide with ours, and that's the Dramatic Knits podcast, Steve and Callie. Just a happy coincidence that they are doing February and March as well. They are also including other forms of working with two strands of yarn, intarsia and things like that. Lisa's and mine is limited to only stranded color work. So if you fall within that for ours, then you definitely qualify for theirs as well. So go join their group and enter and participate in that as well. All of us are okay with dipping in as many cals as you can and participating in that. So anyways, that is all that's going on as far as coming up knit along wise. I don't have anything planned right now, and like I've said, multiple times, I'm not really going to be hosting a lot of knit alongs. I'm going to be jumping in on them with other people. Oh, and I'm still participating in the mystery scarf knit along, the knitting game, Mystery of the Traveling Scarf, or the Traveling Scarf Mystery Knit Along. However, I don't remember. Anyways, so yeah, and I'll show you my progress on that. Are you ready to find out where my travels will be taking me? On Thursday, April 30th, I will be boarding a plane in Boise, Idaho, and I will be flying to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to be picked up by my wonderful friend, Lisa, Fiber Nymph of the 90% Knitting Podcast. We get to meet in person, and we get to hang out, and it's going to be so much fun. And from there, we're going to go down to Maryland Sheep and Wool. What? Can you believe it? It's going to be so much fun. If you're going to be there, you have to tell me. We have to meet up. I cannot believe it. I'm so freaking excited. Like, after I pushed click, or after I pushed buy, clicked on it, and was done purchasing the tickets, I texted her. I was like, it's done! I'm really coming! And so, anyway, yay! We've been planning this for, it was before Christmas, but I don't remember if it was before Thanksgiving or not when we started talking about it. I have a hair tickling me. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving time or after that. It must have been before Thanksgiving because I was still going to knit night. I hadn't started my job yet. So anyways, we've been planning this for a while. And I told her that I didn't want to say anything until, until I bought my plane ticket and it was more official. And then I've been waiting. I did research, and 57 days out is the best time to buy, which is actually next week, on Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. So when I got the email saying, if you go through kayak.com, you can actually do a fare tracker, and they will email you each week telling you the price. And I watched the price go up and up and up, and I was like, just wait, it's not that magic time yet, it's gonna go up. And I would look, once a week, and nope, it was still up. And then I got an email yesterday, and it had dropped $50. And I was like, yes, I don't even care if it's a week early. I am so jumping on this. And so I went and was looking at stuff, and I was texting with her this morning, kind of finalizing, little stuff, making sure my times were okay. And bam, I bought the ticket. It's ready. I get to meet Lisa in person. Oh, I totally want to take a selfie in her yellow room, in front of the picture that she has always behind her that has the flowers, and be like, look where I am. And she's watching this probably going, oh geez, that's my house. I'm super excited, and she is too. There's been lots of exclamation points and planning, and we're both really excited. And I've never been farther east than Michigan, which happened a couple years ago for Knitting in the Mitten. So this will be lots and lots of fun, going to 2 new states and new climate and new people, and I'm so excited. And after last year of having to not travel, after I went to Stitches in February, I've been dying to go somewhere. So I know I'm clapping a lot. I'm super excited. Super excited. So we will be at Maryland Sheep and Wool. And I hope that some of you that watch this will be there as well. And please tell me if you're going to be there. I really would love to meet people who I won't have the chance to meet otherwise. So anyways, yay! That also means, though, that even though I'm on the wait list for Zombie Knitpocalypse, I will not be able to put money together to go to both, with it being the next month in June. So I think I had mentioned that I put myself on the wait list after I hemmed and hawed on deciding on if I wanted to go or not, or would be able to go. Not wanted, I want to go, but would be able to. And then with this coming together, it's just not going to work out this year. But I'm already looking forward to next year to see what I can start planning for, now that I can be kind of back in travel mode. So anyways, there we go. All right, now that has been talked about, let's get into the knitting. The first thing I have sitting right here in front of me is my Crazy Stripes tee. I was really hoping that this would be done, and it would have been, except that I've had to do a lot of reknitting on certain parts. So I'll show you what I have, and then I'll talk about it. I'm actually completely done with the body of it, the shirt body itself. I had to redo the bottom. I picked up with a size 2 because it said size 2 or 3. Did it with a size 2, did the ribbing, and then did the bind off, and did the bind off like 3 different times, and it was just, it wasn't working. And so I was like, you know what, the ribbing is too small. Pulled all of it out, which luckily it's just picking up the stitches. I didn't have to like worry about the live stitches. I just re-picked them up with a size 3, did the ribbing, and then had decided on the bind off, and it worked the first time, but it still ended up being, you know, the fourth time of binding off, only the second time. Well, and I changed the ribbing. It was a 1x1. It calls for 1x1. I do not knit 1x1 ribbing very well because my purl is so different from my knit. My 1x1 ribbing is really stretched out and weird looking. So I did a 2x2 instead, which meant picking up like 2 extra stitches, but that's fine. I love that that she calls for doing the contrasting color there at the bottom. Next, I did the neckline, and it appears to be okay, but it says across the back to pick up every single stitch, like a one for one. When you're picking up these, you pick up, you know, 2 out of 3 rows or whatever, but across the back, you're supposed to pick up every single stitch. Well, that ended up being, you can see I have pins in it. I'm trying to figure out, it's way too big. Do you see how it just flops over? And when I was wearing it, it just like stood up all weird. And so what I did was I pinched it to see how much smaller I need it to be, and then pinned it, just so that way I know how much I need to get rid of. I think what I'll end up doing is pulling all of it out and then pick up 2 out of 3 for everything. Rows, stitches, everything. I think that's what will end up working. So yeah, it flops over and it's just not right. And that's not the designer's fault necessarily, because everybody's seems to fit right. I know that I'm more narrow, you know, here and across here, and so it's not that many stitches though, so I didn't mind picking it up to see if it would fit the first time. Like I said, it didn't, but I set it aside. I put it in timeout for a little bit just so I could think through it, not because I was mad or anything, just so I could think through it. I was a little bit tired of working on it just because I was focusing 99% of my knitting on this, and I just was like, you know what, I'm going to work on my colorwork sweater. I'm going to let it, you know, mull around in my brain a little bit, and, you know, and decide from there. So I could have picked up the sleeves and stuff, but like I said, I wanted a break to just let me come at it with a fresh perspective. So anyway, I'm willing to redo it because I really like this and it fits me nicely, and I want it to be right, and because I want to wear it. I've had sweaters that I've knit and were just, meh, they fit okay, but I just don't wear them. And there's a couple that I will be pulling out and making into something else because the yarn is too great to waste. When I do a sweater, I mean, this is Knit Picks yarn, so this is kind of the exception as far as not being a more expensive yarn, but my Volmisa sweater, I don't wear it. It fits me weird on the neck, so I'm going to be pulling that out because it's Volmisa DK, for Pete's sake. I'm going to have something to wear, you know. And the vest that I did out of the 716 knit, her Boss Base, that stuff is way too gorgeous, and I'm not going to wear that vest. It didn't turn out fitting me like I thought it would, even with tweaking stuff. So, you know, that's kind of part of knitting. But because I know the body of this fits me, tweaking the neck, you know, taking the time to redo the bottom or tweak the neckline, I'm totally okay with that. It's a little long, not crazy long, but a little longer than a lot of my shirts, but I'm okay with that too. So anyway, it's a very well written pattern. I love how she has it set up because she has the directions going along, and then to the right side it'll say if you've gotten rid of 2 stitches, it'll say -2, or it'll say and then like at the end of a color block section, you know, each row will say how many you got rid of, but then at the end it'll say this plus this plus this, like the different sections you have, equals this. Like she tells you constantly how many stitches you're either getting rid of or how many you have, or, you know, whatever. And so it's nice. I'm not one that always pays attention to those, and I ended up with the exact right number of stitches just by following the pattern exactly. So she's a very good designer. I have some others of her patterns that I like, that now that I've you know, I'm knitting this one, she's definitely one I would trust. So anyway, that's the Crazy Stripes tee. She has a ton out there. Go check her out on Ravelry. I'm knitting it on size something or other needles, 5. Size 5 needle. Woo, staticky. And it's in my one of my 31 bags. I'm using my Ablet bracelet, or well, I was, to keep track of the needles, the rows. I don't usually wear this because in order for it to fit me, I had to make it kind of small, and it's hard for me to take on and off myself. Plus, I don't want to hassle with taking it on and off. I just want to have it with the project that I'm using it on, which was this one. So I just, as you can see, I just hooked it right on to the zipper. Okay, moving on. I didn't do a lot of work on my mitered squares blanket because, like I said, I was working on the shirt there. But I did manage to finish the 3rd row here, or 4th row, excuse me. I finished the 4th row, and I have it cast on for the first one of the 5th row. Oh, my nose is itching today. So anyway, it's coming along nicely. Like I said, I was working on other stuff, and when I put this down, I actually did pick it up and do 2 or 3 squares. So next on the needles is something you haven't seen before, and it's something that will be finished by next week. It's Cayenne's Elefante birthday present. It's by Susan B. Anderson. So it's a free pattern by her. And I have most of the body done so far. Good grief, come on. There we go. So here's the body. It's kind of hard to show. It's knit very tightly. So here we have, this will be, this is actually going to be the bottom. So it'll go up like this. She wanted it like, initially she wanted a like light body, dark legs, or dark body, light legs, light face, dark ears, or something like that. But I was like, can I change it up a little bit and you can just trust me? And so I'm doing the body in stripes, but then the rest of it is going to be solid. I'm going to do light legs with dark feet, and then I'll do a light colored head with dark ears. But I really wanted to get some stripes in there because it's super cute. So anyway, and this will be closed up. That's actually the next instruction is to close this up and put some of those poly beadlets in there and then stuff it. The yarn that I'm using is just some Kramer Perfection. You've seen me use this yarn before. It's a worsted weight. You get 200 yards, and it's 30% domestic merino and 70% acrylic. It's quite soft and completely machine washable, so that's why I like it. This light color is called Purr, P-U-R-R, and this one is called Royal Purple. So anyways, I love them. She loves them together. She has seen me working on it. She knows what it is. She knows what she's getting. And that's okay with me. As you can see, I am doing it on double points because I'm doing it on size 4s, which is snug for worsted weight, but I wanted it to be a little tighter without having to go to 3s, and I knit tighter on double points, and so I just threw it on these. Plus, these were sitting there, and I was like, hey, I don't use double points much, so anyway, so there you go. It will be, her birthday is next Friday, March 6th, so next time I record, it will be much farther along, and I actually plan on working on it probably tonight when I get home from work. This is another one of my 31 bags. I didn't realize Cayenne found this when they were cleaning, and I have her birthday thing. She's like, and she's the one that pointed out, she said, you're working on my present in the bag that I found. It was super cute. So anyway, I had a reminder on my phone pop up. Cayenne has a hair appointment in an hour. So anyways, there's that. And moving on. Okay, I have 2 more things. Jeez. All sorts of stuff. It didn't feel like I worked on this much, but I haven't worked on that in a while. So this is my traveling scarf. I did some negative knitting on it. I took it to church yesterday and was like, okay, let's bust this out really quick because I hadn't done the 8th clue yet, and I knew the 9th one was coming out today. You can see I have like 2 rows, 3 rows done past the garter ridge that you saw last time. It's I didn't really like the pattern, and I knew an easy way to modify it to make it so I would like it. So I pulled it out and decided to do it that way. I know it won't be exactly as written, but that's okay. It's mine, and I'm okay with that. So I will finish this this one. I'll take it with me to Kyan's hair appointment because it's an easy thing to carry along. And then, like I said, the next clue came out today. So that'll be getting worked on this week. And lastly, my colorwork sweater. I have all my separate skeins and bags to keep them away from each other. It's much easier. And what I found, all of the rows, there are maybe 4 rows that are just one solid color. So aside from those, and there's 1 row where you're doing one of each color, like white, brown, white, brown, white, brown, white, brown. You know, other than that, it's all a matter of 3 of one color, 1 of another. And so I actually, between row, when I finish a row, I look and see what the dominant color is. And so let's say it's red and tan, and red is 3 and tan is 1. I'll put the red on my right side and the tan on my left side, because the yarn that I'm only doing the 1 stitch with, I'm holding with my left hand. You know, like how I, like, in the air, put it on my finger. So I'm doing 2-handed, but just the 1 stitch with my left hand. If it was multiples, my brain doesn't think picking. Like I've tried and tried and tried, and I'm really set in my ways. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and just kind of pick up that 1, 1, 2, 3, pick up that 1, and I'm okay with taking the time to just, you know, move the yarns around. It just takes me a few seconds. You know, I move my Post-it note up, I move those, and then I can just, and so I don't feel like it slows me down, because I have to kind of reset up how the yarn is held in my hands anyway, which yarn it is. So it adds maybe 30 seconds on to switching. I don't think, maybe 15 seconds. So anyways, I'm almost done with my second pattern repeat. I just finished row 27 out of a 31 row repeat. So it's almost doubled since you saw it last. And this knits up so fast. It really shocks me, because it's sport weight yarn. So, you know, I have a considerable amount of stitches on the needles. And with, you know, having to move yarn around and doing the 2 strands per row and stuff, you know, I would think it would be slower, but it works up quite quickly. So let's see if I can get a good hold of this so you can see it here. That's what I have so far. Let's see if I can turn it and kind of stabilize it. There we go. So as you can see, I am just about done there. And it is a very fun pattern to knit. I only have to go through the chart 3 times before I stop working on this and start working on the arms. I think I am going to order a needle specifically for working on the arms, the sleeves. This is a size 4, and I don't really want to do magic loop with color work. I've tried that before, and where they connect, where, you know, where that gap is, I always had a weird bunchy spot. No matter how hard I tried to stay loose or pull it just right or whatever, I don't want to do that for an entire sleeve. So what I'm going to do is order a 12-inch needle, size 12-inch size 4, and it won't be the same brand as this, because this is one of my interchangeables. So what I'm going to do is order from the same place that I got my size 3 from, and hopefully it just comes straight here this time. But that's why I'm going to order it now, because I still have a ways. My size 3 12-inch that is on my scarf, remember that whole fiasco that I was telling you about with having to wait while they decided to find it? Yeah, so I'm going to just ordered one of those because it's the nice coated wood. And so I think it will still give me the same, it should still give me the same gauge because it's similar. Nobody around here sells those, and yeah. So anyway, I'll be ordering that. I was gonna just kind of go to my standard metal ChowGoo, but I'm afraid that would mess up my gauge too much. So because you do have different gauge with wood and metal usually, or you can. So anyways, alrighty. That is done. That pattern is called Gray Sparrow. I don't remember who it's by, and I don't have the pattern in here with me, but you can find it on my projects page or just look it up under Gray Sparrow. And I think, yeah, that's all the knitting I have to show you. I do have some spinning. I didn't bring my bobbin in here, and I didn't want to bring my wheel in, but I brought the bat that I'm spinning from. Oh, it's in two pieces here. I'll just hold up this piece. It's Beautiful Blues. It's one that I made at the spinning retreat I went to a couple years ago with Judith McKenzie. We got to use her her electric drum carder, and so we got to make bats. And here's the other part of that. I don't remember what all's in here. I know there's silk and merino, and I think that might be it. It's just silk and merino. But anyways, I'm really enjoying it. I plan to just Navajo ply it when I'm done. I don't think there'll be a ton. It wasn't a large bat. I think it was just a couple ounces. So, and then the next thing I will spin will be this little bat that I did on the blending board. I called it a carding board last time, but I knew what it was called. Anyway, on the blending board. So, the other thing that I didn't grab, that I'm not going to run out there and get it, it's not a big deal because there's not much to show you. I actually started drop spinning again. Yay! When I was at the spin-in last week, there's fiber in the air now. When I was at the spin-in last week, one of the gals was selling some little drop spindles, and I didn't buy a new one, but one of my friends bought one. And we started talking about drop spinning, and I was like, oh, yes, I do really enjoy my drop spindle. And there's a project that I want to make at the end when I get all these little braids spun, but I can't knit that until I spin those. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have it out, and I'm gonna just work on it here and there, 15 minutes a day type thing. And I haven't for the last 2 days, but like I said, we were working in the bedroom and then gone. So but anyways, the color I'm working on is called Cindy's Suitcase by Greenwood Fibers, Greenwood Fiber Arts, Greenwood Dye Works. I don't know, Greenwood something or other. I never remember what she has after that. Her stuff is really pretty, and I don't know if it's a BFL or Polworth. I have some of both of those, and I didn't look at the tag. I looked at what colorway it was, and that's one of my favorites that she does. And if she comes to Fiber Train this year, I plan to try to get a skein of that. So anyway, so that's going. I've just done just a couple little strips, and these are only 1/4 of an ounce braids to begin with, and I split that in half. So the strips aren't very big, and anyways, yeah, so I haven't done much, but I'm working towards it because I have that scarf that I want to make. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Drop City, maybe? Drop something, or I can't remember. Anyways, that doesn't matter. When I'm working on it, I'll tell you about it. So that is all I have for right now. I don't have any designing that's new. I've had a couple of ideas lately that I've been, writing down. I need to finish these 2 sweaters and start my next class project, but I need to make time to work on one in particular that really, really, really has me excited. It's kind of a multi-directional sweater that I got the idea from actually a lady at church that I was sitting kind of behind, kind of kitty corner from. I stared at her sweater for about an hour and figured out how I could do a knitted, a hand knit version of that. So yeah, it'll be cool if it works out. And the construction technique would be really cool. So anyways, that is all I have for you today, and we're just now going to hit 40 minutes. So I'm going to say bye. Have a great week. And until next time, keep knitting. Bye.